Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this special episode where I'll be talking about Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and I've got the man himself, Nick Chapman, here as a special guest today to talk about what bare knuckle fighting is all about and how it's going to be the next global sport. Nick, welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Now, Nick, we had you on Good Morning Thailand yesterday, and we spoke briefly about Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship and basically how you're becoming a global sport. I guess my first question for you would be, what was the idea behind bare knuckle fighting, and what is bare knuckle fighting? Is it just me punching people with my hand? Do you have any protection at all?
Okay, so I mean, it originated in the States. An amazing guy called David Feldman. He's the founder of BKFC, which is Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships. So it's basically boxing, although it's we're allowed elements of the Thai clinch and dirty boxing as well, which are not allowed in Western style boxing. Yeah. And absolutely, we are completely bare knuckle. We are allowed to tape and strap the thumb and the wrists up to about an inch below the knuckle. But other than that, it is completely bare fist.
Wow. Nick, my next question would be, now BKFC operates from Pattaya. Now we're in Thailand. Firstly, I mean, that's shocking as well. I thought you'd be operating from the US, but you're operating in Thailand and you've picked Pattaya. And I found that interesting in particular because you could be in Bangkok, you could be in Phuket, you could be in Chiang Mai, which all three of them have international airports. But you've picked Pattaya for a reason. Why Pattaya?
Well, I mean, it makes sense for me logistically, really. I live in Pattaya, but also my business partner, Kun Golf, is a great guy. He owns the Royal Cliff Hotel Group and the event centre that we actually run the events in. So the idea is to primarily station ourselves in Pattaya, but we have got plans to move further afield. So Bangkok probably next, Hua Hin, and Chiang Mai, and so on.
All right. So you move wherever the events are, but mainly in Pattaya.
Yeah, so the headquarters is always going to be Pattaya, but we are going to be moving around the country, yeah.
And was there any specific reason for it? Like, are you a Pattaya man?
Yeah, I mean, I love Pattaya. I come out here to visit a friend many years ago, or 5 years ago, and just never left. I mean, I think it's a beautiful part of the world. So, yeah, as I say, it makes logistical sense to me, and the fact that we have the Peach, which is arguably one of the best event centres outside of Bangkok. It's incredible. We've got the highest internet connectivity. We could see up to 20,000 people. I've got a world-class events team there. I mean, it's an incredible venue, so that's why we're kind of stationed there.
All right. Nick, let's get into more of the intricate details of BKFC. Now, how do you really pick up who's going to be fighting? Because this is a very specific sport that only specific individuals do. You've got to be a different type of person to really do bare knuckle boxing. So traditional boxing will have your ladders, and you've got to eventually wait for the big matches, the big hype matches. But how do you pick who's going to be fighting, who's going to be on your card?
Yeah, it's a good question. So look, the guys we've got on our card are literally some of the best in the world at what they do. We've got left weight champions, we've got world Muay Thai champions, we've got MMA champions, even boxing champions. I mean, the great thing about Thailand, it's just a country that's just loves the combat sports. Yeah. We have so many people here, not just Thais, although we've got some incredible Thai fighters. We've got guys that travel from all around the world. They live in gyms and they just spend their lives training combat sports. We have to have a certain level of experience, like they have to have a very strong professional background in some form of striking art. And then what I do is I literally just look at all the applicants, because they all come to me. I mean, I have in my inbox every day is flooded with applicants wanting to fight in the event, not just from Thailand, from all over the world. And I literally just go through them and I say, what fight do I want to see? Yeah. Like, I'm a fan of the sport, so I literally put on the fights that I want to see, because I know if I want to see them, then everyone's going to want to see them. And we have, as I say, some of the best guys in the world.
Yeah. They're all somebody, aren't they? They're former champions, and that's what makes it so interesting, because they might not be global superstars yet. Right. They haven't got the limelight that they probably deserve, but here they get an opportunity. They've honed their skills the whole life, and here they've got this BKFC Championship where they can just make a name for themselves.
Exactly that. So this is the great thing about what we're doing. So we've got a global platform here, and a lot of these guys are some of the, as I say, they are some of the best in the world. They just haven't had the opportunities to get to the mainstream or the limelight that they do deserve. And I really do believe that we're going to start showcasing some of these guys on this platform, and the rest of the world is going to go, wow, like, why have we not seen these guys before? I mean, you're going to see the whole card is just stacked full of champions, stacked full of world-class athletes, and we're about to showcase that to the whole world.
All right, cool. let's talk about these athletes now. Is the division based on weight? So they're fighting on weight classes, obviously welterweights with welterweights. Now, I've seen people cut crazy amount of weights. You know, a lot of the viewers must have seen, like in UFC and all, they cut a crazy amount of weight. One championship, you have to be a certain weight on the night before the fight. How does it work with BKFC?
So we keep a very close eye on weight. So we have what's called a walking weight. So that's what generally someone walks around at. Okay. I will only allow them to cut a certain amount to make a weight category. So I keep a close eye on that. It's just better for the fighter's safety.
Yeah.
So we have weight categories, very similar to boxing, but slightly different. And as long as they're within a few kilos of that weight category, about 6 weeks out, then I will match them.
Okay. Nick, now I was talking about how these fighters are different types of human beings. You have to be a different person, not only just to, you know, be able to hurt someone else, but to do it street style, bare knuckled. Do these fighters ever go through any psychological tests or, you know, any tests to prove that, you know, they're not going out there to harm someone? They're not killers who are just, I'm here to kill someone and hurt someone, but actually there for the sport. Do they go through anything like that? I
would be petrified to put any of my fighters for a psychological assessment, to be fair. I mean, you've got to be slightly crazy to want to fight bare knuckle.
That's exactly what I thought.
It's true.
So, would they even want to do that? Do I want to know what's going inside this person's brain?
No. Just trust me when I tell you this, right? They're far better off being allowed to do it in a controlled environment than telling them they can't do it in a controlled environment, because then you're going to have a completely different element on your hands. Yeah. I was a fighter. I was just born with a will and a want to fight. It's not because I like to hurt people. It's I like the adrenaline. I love the test. And yeah, I mean, from personal experience, I definitely was a lot better human being when I was allowed that channel to let those feelings out. But as for psychological assessments, probably we stay away from them.
Yeah. But to be honest, in my experience, you know, most of the hardcore fighters, or who you'd think, you know, oh my God, I'm scared of this guy, but they're some of the nicest people out there. They're very polite, they're very respectful, because they've had that training and they've been living in a controlled environment their whole life, where, you know, most fighters have that respect for each other, don't they?
Thank you for that. Thank you very much. And I'll tell you why that means a lot to me, because there is this stigma around fighting in general, especially bare knuckle, that, you know, they're thugs. And the thing is, we have this place where we can go and channel our aggression. And I've always tried to explain it to people that don't understand what a fighter feels. You imagine the likes of Lewis Hamilton, Formula One driver. You don't see him thrashing cars around the street, do you? You don't see him racing cars and risking people's lives, because he has a place where he can channel that. And for us, it's the same. We're in the gym, we're training hard, we love what we do. We're not forced to fight. No one's forcing us to do this. We love it. We genuinely want to do this. And because we have got these platforms and these opportunities to let out these feelings and these emotions, it enables us to be better people. And you're absolutely right. Look, the people that I work with, some of the highest level athletes in the world at what we do, and they are some of the nicest people generally. Okay, there's probably a few background issues and reasons they like to fight, but because they're allowed to fight, they generally are really good people. They're respectful, and they have that place where they can just let those feelings out.
Now, what would you say to people who might call, you know, bare knuckle fighting barbaric? Because it is. I mean, in the form of, it is quite bloody. It is quite gruesome at times, and you also have to be a certain type of person to be able to enjoy this. Now, some people say, "Oh, boxing is enough for me." Then some people are really into the arts and be like, "Oh, I like martial arts. It might be a bit more bloody, but it's more entertaining." Now, bare knuckle kind of takes it to that third level, and maybe that's why people kind of look at it as, "Oh, is this going a bit too far?" What would you say to that?
Okay, so we get this a lot. And to be completely honest with you, I appreciate it. It's not for everyone. And I wouldn't expect you to watch it if you don't like the sight of blood or you don't like the fighting. But at the same time, if you're going to criticise something, at least do it with a level of respect for how other people feel. And this is the problem I get. People start telling me that we're thugs, it's barbaric, and it's bad, and they're wrong. They're wrong. Okay, it can look barbaric and it's bloody, but that's part of the appeal. The fight is actually like that. When I was a fighter, if I got a big cut in a fight and I got a bloody shot after, I'm posting it all over Facebook. I love that. Fighters like that. But just because someone on the outside looking in doesn't necessarily like the sight of blood, or even more to the point, doesn't understand how we feel about what we do, it's okay not to like it. But please don't criticise us and call us names and derogatory terms because you don't understand how we feel. Because It's a very professional sport. It's very highly regulated. We take care of our fighters. The fighters love what they do, and we're very proud of what it takes for us to get into that environment in that ring. But yeah, it's not for everybody, and I respect that.
Nick, how do we then now change the public perception of BKFC? It is this violent, bloody sport. Do you even want to? No, it is what it is. You know, we get a lot of cuts. We get a lot of blood. But we are actually proven through medical science and research, which is how we got sanctioned in 20 states of America, by the way, and how we get permits to fight here, is it's actually proven to be safer for the brain than traditional boxing. Okay, we get more cuts, but I cut heals. The brain doesn't heal. So we're quite happy with the perception. You know, it sells. It's what people want to see. The fighters like it too. It's hardcore. It's a real modern day gladiator feel. You know, you're next level hard, man. If you're fighting bare knuckle.
It used to be MMA. Now we're talking bare knuckle. So we're all about testing ourselves and pushing ourselves to the limit. So I don't want to change the public perception.
All right. Well, without going too much in detail, let's quickly talk about the skill set involved in BKFC, because you're not wearing gloves, so you have to pick your punches, don't you? And you've got to punch in the right way, otherwise you just the one wrong punch. Yes, you knock out your opponent, but you could also just break your hand.
Absolutely. And again, more studies have been carried out on this comparatively to MMA and boxing, and there's actually more hand fractures in those sports than there are in our sport. And the reason for that is we do strap the hands and the wrists. We don't strap the knuckles, so it's completely bare knuckle. You're only allowed to land with a straight fist anyway. But generally, you're picking your shots. You're much more careful about how hard you throw a shot, or what angle you throw a shot, because you are aware that your hands can break. So in actual fact, it works in our favour. You haven't got to hit someone as hard with a bare knuckle to switch them off. You'd have to give them a real good clump with a 16-ounce glove to knock someone out. But with a bare knuckle, just a little tap, and they're gone. So for that reason, it's generally a bit safer for the hands too, believe it or not.
Now, how do these madmen make their money then? Like, do you get bonuses for fight? Do you have knockout of the day of the event? Yes,
I mean, look, everyone gets paid a flat fee to turn up. Okay, we offer knockout bonuses. I mean, that's what the public want to see. They like the knockouts, and we offer win bonuses. So each fighter will get extra money if they win. The other fighter that loses doesn't get the win bonus, obviously. And we offer fight of the night bonuses as well. So when two guys or girls go in the ring and throw down, and the crowd absolutely love it, and you can just appreciate how much they put into that fight, we'll pay them a bonus for that too.
All right, Nick, what's next for the BKFC?
So big plans. So we have recently, as you know, we've just signed Singha as our tier 1 presenting sponsor. Thank you very much, Singha. Amazing deal we've got. We got some incredible stuff lined up moving forward with those guys. Just going to have to watch this space. I really like the deal we've got with Singha, because they're all about getting behind the Thai people. They want to bring opportunities. It's not just about the return on their investment. They're actually going to help us bring opportunities, build this up, and really do something for Thai people. I love that. So that's a really good thing. But we are planning to branch out across Thailand. The next event will probably be in Bangkok. We have got plans to reach out into Cambodia, and we're also going to be going to Australia this year as well. The UK is happening in London in July. That's pretty cool. And then we've got obviously the big guys, our bosses effectively in the US, Dave Feldman, who's running, I think he's got 48 events planned for the next 12 to 18 months. So there's a lot happening. We are not slowing down. We're not stopping. We are constantly moving forward with the brand, and we want to bring lots more exciting and entertainment fights to Thailand.
Are we expecting a future where there's going to be BKFC fights like an Impact Arena with 50,000 people watching? Is that where we're heading towards?
That's exactly where I'm heading towards. I mean, that's a goal. That's a hell of an achievement, but I don't really see any reason why we can't achieve that. We're already talking to some of the biggest names that you could imagine in Asia. So those guys, if we can get them on, which we've kind of had a verbal nod, I don't think there's going to be a problem filling out a 15,000, 20,000 people arena.
Right, Nick, last comments before we end the video. Now, you've got an event coming up this Saturday, May the 7th.
Yes.
And who's headlining the event?
So we've got Sirimongkhon Lamthuam, who is the most highly decorated Thai national Western-style boxer that Thailand has ever created. He's a 5-time world champion in 3 different weight categories. The guy is the nicest guy you're ever likely to meet. He's fighting for our inaugural BKFC Thailand Championship belt at cruiserweight. He's fighting a guy called Street Fight Mike Vetrila, who's just the craziest Russian guy you've ever met. Lovely guy, but he's 6'4", and Sirimongkhon is 5'8". So that's an entertaining fight. And we've got Suresh Manfredi fighting Fanny Palumpi for the female 52 kg BKFC Thailand championship as well. Very exciting bouts, both of them.
And where can the viewers catch that? So you exclusively broadcast on BKTV?
Yeah, well, so we actually broadcast around 60 different channels, but for Thailand, the best place to see us, if you want to watch us live, is on the BKTV app. You can just go to bkfc.com and you can download the app. It's free to download, and currently, get it while you can, the Thailand content is free. But that won't be free forever. Then it'll be a $4.99 per month subscription. You can see all the content, but you can cancel at any time. And of course, if you really want to get involved and see and feel the experience, the atmosphere of the event, come to the Royal Cliff Hotels group in Pattaya, May 7, this weekend, Saturday. We start at 6 p.m. You can buy tickets on the door.
Yeah, because you're sold out online, so tickets only available on the door. Hopefully I'll see you there, and any one of our viewers who are watching, stay tuned. Maybe you'll find me there as well. We'll watch the event together. As for now, I'd like to say thank you so much, Nick, for taking the time to come in today and talk to me, and hopefully you have an amazing event, and we'll see each other soon in the future.
Thank you very much for having me, Jay. I appreciate it, buddy. Cheers. Thank you.